What's up guys, Phoenix here. This video is going to be another combo tutorial video, and this one is hopefully going to be the first of many Metalfoe Yang Zing combo tutorials for the Dark Illusion time frame of the game. Now, obviously we get new Yang Zing support in Invasion of Venom, or as it's called in the TCG, Invasion Vengeance, the set that we get sometime around the November time frame. That set introduces two new Yang Zing cards that are both incredibly good in the form of the new Synchro Tuner Wang Tianho, Origin of the Yang Zing, as well as the new Counter Trap, which is an Infinity Barrier for the Yang Zing deck, 9 branches of the Yang Zing. Obviously, those cards are going to make the deck infinitely better and infinitely more capable of competing on a metagame level, but ultimately we don't have access to those right now. But I still believe that even with the first support and first wave of Metalfoe's cards, as well as all of the Yang Zing cards we currently have access to, I believe the deck is still very strong. It's very capable of churning out massive boards, and this is something that's been reinforced by the fact that the Odd Eyes Zefra Yang Zing deck has existed for basically 8 months at this point. It's been very, very rogue, but that's just because there's inherent inconsistencies built into that deck that hopefully can be solved, and there's a certain little bit of power gap that hopefully this deck can solve that deck cannot, until we get that new wave of Yang Zing support and Invasion Vengeance. But this combo tutorial is going to be on a first turn combo utilizing any 3 Yang Zing cards in your hand, and when I say any 3 Yang Zing cards, I mean literally any 3 Yang Zing cards. There just has to be one monster among them, which is not hard by any stretch of the imagination, and then one Metalfoe's card. And this is, again, using only the cards available to us at the release of the Dark Illusion set. So, none of the two new Yang Zing cards. So, for all of you that are going to comment, you can make this combo so much better if you just use the new Yang Zing cards from the next set. I know, I'm very aware, but the thing is that I like to play in events before that set comes out, and we got like 3 months until that happens. So yeah, this is going to be something that I'm going to be trying to focus a little bit on, is trying to make this deck as good as it can possibly be with only the Dark Illusions available support during this little season of Yu-Gi-Oh! All the core sets basically divide the year of Yu-Gi-Oh! Up into little mini seasons of about 3 months. But this combo is going to be something that ends you with a +2, like I already said, starting with one Metalfoe's card, one Metalfoe's Pendulum monster, and any 3 Yang Zing cards, including at least one Yang Zing monster. And it ends you with a +2 overall, and you end with Titanic Galaxy, Herald of the Arclight, and a Zefra Divine Strike. Now, since I'm a Scrub Lord, and I forgot that I didn't own a Zefra Divine Strike, I have one ordered and it is on the way, but I didn't want to wait to make this video, so I'm actually using this Ulti Solemn Warning as my proxy for Zefra Divine Strike at the moment. So if you see this in the video, I'll be sure to mention it every time that you see it, but this is a proxy for Zefra Divine Strike. Just because, like I said, I am Scrub Lord 5000, and I just forgot that I didn't own one, and I had to order one, and I'm waiting on it to come in the mail, because as of right now, that's the only counter trap option that we have available to us for this deck to play. But regardless of that, enough rambling on. I'm going to cut away from this little card laid out overlay that I've got here, and we're just going to start exploring the first of the Metalfoe's Yang Zing Dark Illusion season combos. Now, like I said, this combo is startable by literally any Metalfoe's Pendulum monster, as well as any 3 Yang Zing cards, as long as at least one of them is a Yang Zing monster. So, for this example, I'm just going to pick any random one. It literally could not matter less, and then any 3 Yang Zing cards. And now, the key thing to understand about this combo is that you can do this without having Shiwen in your hand. It doesn't rely on Shiwen, Jiaotu, anything specific to be in your hand. It can literally just be any 3 Yang Zing cards, and as long as one of them is a normal summonable monster that can float into another Yang Zing, then you are perfectly fine. But the way the combo starts is you activate your Metalfoe and your scale, and then you normal summon whatever Yang Zing that you're just willing to throw away. It literally doesn't matter. And the 5th card that you have is something that doesn't matter as well. So I'm just going to lay something face down just to indicate that there was a 5th card there if you were going first. If you're going second and you're able to pull this off and not be disrupted, you obviously have 2 extra cards. And this is also just really strong when you're going second, because Boxia clears 2 cards at least every time it's summoned. And that's one of my favorite things about the Yang Zing deck, is that your main combo piece, Boxia, also just clears threats. But anyway, so you have your Metalfoe in your scale, and you have your normal summoned Yang Zing monster. You use your Metalfoe, pop the Yang Zing, and you use this Metalfoe to set Metalfoe combination to your side of the board. So you have a combination set. And then your Yang Zing is obviously going to float into Jiaotu. And so at this point, this is the only real fragile point in the combo string, because at this point, if you get Veiler, it's going to suck. But even if you do get Veilered, you're going to be able to have a floater on the board in the form of Jiaotu, and you could obviously like recorrect yourself going forward as well if you had anything like another Metalfoe scale, if you had a Yang Zing Path in your hand. All these other outlying factors allow you to claw back resources, but regardless, you're going to use Jiaotu's effect and discard the 2 Yang Zing cards that were in your hand, and you are going to special summon very specifically Zephyr Neo, and then the other one that you summon could not matter less, as long as it is one with 0 defense. For usual cases, I just normally summon Chi-Win, just because I want to get the Chi-Win into the graveyard as early as possible so it can float and keep going there. But, so from here, your Jiaotu has summoned these 2 cards, and you synchro into your first Boxia. Now, your Zephyr Neo goes face up into your extra deck, and, you know, just is a Pendulum resource later, but you summon your Boxia. And you obviously don't use Boxia's effect if you're going first, because then you'd start shuffling your own stuff back, and that wouldn't be good for you. But you can use Boxia's second effect here, and you use this Boxia to destroy Metalfoe's combination that is currently set on your side of the board from the first Metalfoe's monster. So you destroy it, and you target your Jiaotu engrave and special summon it. At this point, your Metalfoe's combination triggers, and you're able to search your deck for another Metalfoe's monster. And at this point, you're just going to search whatever is an opposite scale to the one you have. Currently, for this example, I have Steelerin in the scale, so that's an 8 scale, so I'm just going to want to search anyone with 1. So, literally, Gold Driver or Silvered is fine in this example. And obviously, you would just search either Volflame or Steelerin if you have the other side of the scale. But you search that, you get to special summon your Jiaotu. And so now you play this Metalfoe in your other scale. I'm running really low on space here. You play this in your other scale, and you use this Metalfoe to target your Chi-Win or whatever Yang Zing you summon. That's why I say it literally doesn't matter. As long as it's one that floats, it doesn't matter. This doesn't work if you use Zefraxi, because that's a Pendulum monster and it doesn't float. But you use whatever scale you just set, and you destroy your Chi-Win, and you use that to set another Metalfoe's combination to your side of the board. So you set another one of the combinations. And then from there, the Chi-Win also activates, and you get to summon another card out of your deck, and you summon another copy of Zephyr Neo. So at this point, you've got Jiaotu and Zephyr Neo on your board again. And you're going to synchro these into Boxia. Your Zephyr Neo goes into the extra deck with the other one, and you synchroed into your second Boxia. So at this point, you've got 2 Boxias, and this Boxia's effect is ready to be used. I'm going to grab some dice. Unprepared FlareX to indicate whether or not it's used its effect or not. So this Boxia has used its effect, this one has not, to special summon from grave. So at this point, you can use this Boxia, and you can target the combination again and target Jiaotu from grave. You just keep recycling Jiaotu. And so the combination gets killed, gets destroyed, and Jiaotu gets special summoned. And now the combination here is going to search a very specific card. It's actually very important that you search this very, very specific card. And the reason is very, very clear. Well, it actually doesn't have to be that specific one, but basically you have to search either Silvered or Steelerin. It's very, very much necessary that you search one of these, because you're going to be synchro summoning with them. But for this example, since I brought back Jiaotu, you have to get Steelerin. But if you brought back Chi-Win later in the turn, then you're capable of just using Silvered as well. So basically, as long as you just search one of the little ones, it's perfectly fine. But you do want to get one of the little ones. It's very important that you get one of the small level ones, level 2 or level 3. You have to get either Steelerin or Silvered. It's definitely very important. But so this Boxia has used its effect. And you search this card. And so, what you're going to do there from here is, since both these Boxias have used their effects, you're going to stack them into our first negation that we are generating, our first defensive line. And that is none other than number 38, Hope Harbinger, Dragon, Titanic, Galaxy. This card is absolutely amazing, and it's going to be even more amazing when you realize the fact that this card protects Herald of the Arclight from being killed in battle. Now, you could obviously have generated a Bian in the synchro summoning the Herald of the Arclight, but this is also just something that allows it to where you can just protect it multiple times, and also its spell negation is great as well. But from here, you have 3 open monster card zones, and this is specifically why we searched one of the low guys, is that our scale is up, and so we get to Pendulum Summon now. So you Pendulum Summon either the Steelerin or the Silvered, whichever one you searched, and then you special the 2 Zephyr Neos from your extra deck. And at this point, Zephyr Neo triggers, and you get to search for your card. Now remember, this is a Zephyr Divine Strike. This is a proxy. This Solemn Warning is supposed to be Zephyr Divine Strike because I am Scrublord 5000, and I forgot to order one when I was ordering my first wave of Yang Zing stuff. because I just thought that was a card that I was going to have. But so this is Zephyr Divine Strike for the sake of this video. Carrying on. If the other card in your hand, if you'd happened to have drawn your one copy of Zephyr Divine Strike in your opening hand, you can obviously search Zing Path here. That's easily an option. And it's honestly just like something that I really enjoy as well, is if I'm able to do this combo and I do have either a Zing Path or a Zephyr Divine Strike in my hand and I'm able to search the other one, it's very strong because, you know, Zing Path following this play up just allows you to draw 2 extra cards, and that's great. But, carrying on. So, your board, full of monsters. And at this point, you're going to synchro with Zephyr Neo and Jiaotu for Boxia number 3. Too many Boxias. Not enough Boxias? Who knows? So, you summon this third Boxia, and you're going to use this Boxia's effect, and you're going to target any card on your board at this point. It doesn't necessarily matter. If you have, like, I don't know. It literally couldn't matter less, but usually you just end up popping Zephyr Neo. You either pop Zephyr Neo or you pop one of your face-up scales. Depends on if you want to leave Zephyr Neo up to, like, potentially have it be killed by card effect. But it usually doesn't matter, because if you keep your scales up, it's literally going to trigger its effect next turn anyway, because you can pendulum summon it. So it couldn't matter less. There's a little bit of variation, but it actually usually doesn't matter. Very few and far between in situations does it matter. But so you use this Boxia, and you destroy your Zephyr Neo. And at this point, if you had searched for Silvered, that would be a level 3, and you do have a Chi-Win in your graveyard. So you would special summon the Chi-Win, and you'd make Herald of the Arclight. But in this case, since we got Steelin, you special Jiaotu, because you're obviously just trying to hit level 4. So at this point, you synchro with these two, the Steelin goes in the extra deck, Jiaotu goes back to grave, and you make your Herald of the Arclight. And so then you set your Zephyr Divine Strike. And so you have one card left in hand. The unknown that was in your hand is still there, unless it was a combo piece you could use to extend your plays any further. You have your scale up, you have the Boxia, you have the Titanic Galaxy, you have the Herald of the Arclight that is being protected by the Titanic Galaxy from being run over in battle, because Titanic Galaxy can redirect attacks to itself, so that's actually really huge. And then you have the Zephyr Divine Strike with 2 Zephyr Neos in your extra deck, so it's definitely loaded and ready to go. And you still are open to being able to pendulum summon Zephyr Neo next turn, because you're only going to be banishing one of them off of Zephyr Divine Strike. So, this is actually just really cool. It takes, honestly, nothing really that specific, because like I said, it takes any 3 Yang Zing cards. You're not required to have Chi-Win. You're not required to have anything specific in your hand. It just has to be 3 Yang Zings. The only specific thing is that it has to be a monster that you can normal summon and float with. So, it's that. It's that simple, and then all you need is one Metalfoe monster. And you don't even need a Metalfoe monster with like certain different combinations of this hand. You could open Jiaotu and 2 Yang Zings and like Metalfoe's combination, and that would be the exact same play, because the Metalfoe combination would search your one scale, and then you'd start going in that way, and you wouldn't have had to waste your first Metalfoe on like setting the combination, stuff like that. There's obviously little variations and stuff that can happen with this combo string. But this is actually just really cool, and I really like this ending board. This is usually my like go-to first turn combo out of the many that I know about, because it just seems really, really solid, because of the fact that this negates anything, this negates anything, this negates a spell, this redirects attacks from this so this doesn't die. This is incredibly strong in the Fire King Cosmo and the Burning Abyss matchup, because they can't mill with Dante, and if they try to use Fire King Island, they can't float, because of the fact that like the card is going to go straight from their hand to banished. It will not be destroyed and go to the graveyard. So there's that. And then this card is also just great in the mirror match or against Yang Zing matchups, because your opponent can't Jiaotu you, because Jiaotu is a cost to send the cards from hand to graveyard, and this card makes them be banished, thus you cannot fulfill the cost, thus making this very strong against the mirror match as well. And also the fact that if this card negates something, you're able to constantly revive it turn after turn with Boxia for free, because of your Metalfoe's cards constantly setting Fusion. You can set Fusion from deck, use Boxia, pop Fusion, bring back Herald of the Arclight, and then you can shuffle Fusion back into the deck and draw a card. So you actually plus yourself while you're also just constantly recycling Herald of the Arclight. It's actually really cool. It's a really neat little interaction, and this is, like I said, one of my favorite first turn combos, and it's usually my go-to first turn combo if I can see that it's doable, and like I just go for it. It's only 3 negations, but that's still 3 negations backed up by the cards that you see here, as well as Herald of the Arclight being just amazing in certain matchups like I mentioned before, against like Fire King Cosmo, against regular Cosmo as well, because the cards wouldn't hit the graveyard off of like Tin Can, stuff like that. as well as being amazing against Burning Abyss because they cannot mill with Dante, and they have to get over this card in some way, but they can't get over it with effects because obviously this can just negate the effect, Zephyr Divine Strike can negate the effect, and then Titanic Galaxy can negate choice things like Raigeki and Dark Hole and things of that nature. So it's all just really solid and really wrapped up, and like I said, this is a recyclable negation because of the fact that you leave a Boxia on the board, and the Boxia every turn can bring this card back for free. So that's ultimately the first of the Dark Illusions Yang Zing combos that I want to cover. There are a few others with differing variations that have differing results as well. There's certain little things and nuances that come into play. Some are combos that are specifically meant for when you're going second, and things like that. Just overall little general things that you start dealing with here with this deck. But ultimately, I want to know what you guys think about this and the entire Yang Zing Metalfoe concept in the comments down below. As soon as the deck becomes legal to play in Ranked on DEVpro, I will definitely be playing some of it in its current form because of the fact that I do really like this deck and I think it has a lot of potential in the coming format, specifically for the TCG. Things like that. Just little tiny things, but even then, if it ends up flopping, I believe that this deck is definitely something that's going to be a driving force come Invasion of Vengeance, so if you want to pick up these cards while they are still cheap, or cheap-ish, then you might as well go for it. But ultimately, like I said, that's it for this video. I'm curious what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments whatchamajig down below. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed. See you guys later, and as always, guys, take care.